Femi Adefeso, joins me now. Femi, let me welcome you to the show.
Good to be here. It's a pleasure to be on Sports Tonight.
Yeah, I know it takes a lot for you to recover from the bashing you took from the weather, but I'm happy to have you here.
Yeah, it's always worth it, because our listeners, our viewers are always looking forward to all the latest happening in the world of basketball, both home and abroad. And really, there's good news too. The fact that all our teams did well on the continent.
All right, let's talk about that.
There's a lot of progress going on now. We had 3 teams go on to play the qualifiers in Lomé, Togo, and they successfully, qualified. For the men, we had Kano Pillars champions, and the runners-up Customs Basketball Club also joining them in the qualifiers. Kano Pillars went all through undefeated, beating every opponent that came across their way, both from Benin, from Niger Republic. Sadly, there were just 6 teams, who took part in the competition. Others didn't come through. But Kano Pillars did well, winning all 5 games, including defeating Customs, which, of course, lost to them in the finals of the DSTV Premier Basketball League. And Customs also now almost shot themselves in the foot. They lost their first game to Aspak of Benin Republic, but they were able to bounce back in the subsequent games. Very close. Kudos to Abdurrahman Mohammed, who coincidentally is the coach of the female Customs teams playing, in the Zenith Bank Women's Basketball League. So he did a yeoman's job leading, and carrying that team up on his shoulder to ensure that they qualified. Also, they had some good additions in that squad. Baba Jubril, they had Musa.
So continental ticket in the bag?
Also, yes. And what's next for both teams now is to prepare for Egypt, which is in December, the first week of December, to be precise. And the coach has said, look, we are going to be fortifying this squad. And yes, there are a couple of young players we had to bring in, just to ensure that we just go there and execute. But, at the level of the finals, we are seeing the likes of Primero, Augusto, Recreativo, Delibolo, Maxi, to all of those.
Was it that the Nigerian teams were good, or the quality of the opposition was suspect?
To be honest with you, with the level of basketball I saw, I think those guys are good. They were good enough to have at least ousted any of our teams. I mean, Kano Pillars just rode on experience. Abubakar Usman, was shooting from all cylinders, and there was a little bit of synergy. For Customs, I just mentioned that they lost their first game to Aspak Basketball Club of Benin Republic, which was more like an eye-opener, a wake-up call for them. And the coaching staff and some of the experienced players on that team perfectly reacted to the situation, of what was going on. This is a game that has to do with the Customs one on the screen there, in Lomé, Togo, and they really reacted very well, to ensure that they took the game, and of course went on to win the other games. For me, what I see is the fact that although yes, we can say Nigerian basketball is ahead of others, but just like, permit me to use like what is happening in women's football. If you don't put your acts together and you don't do what's right, others will catch up with you.
Yeah.
And you can see the amount of effort all these countries are putting
into it.
Yeah, Benin Republic, Niger,
Togo,
Togo, Cote d'Ivoire. You can see the amount of zeal, and investment they are putting in. So if we don't continue to build on us, they might just catch up with us very soon. And it's a zone where you have to qualify. So it is dangerous waters if we don't do it. But I'm glad that our teams know exactly what to do. They've identified the problems and they are pushing for it. For the women, First Bank also went undefeated and they've qualified through to Mozambique by the end of this month.
You were talking about the quality of the Nigerian teams and the victories weren't a fluke.
Absolutely not. Absolutely, meant to say. There were no flukes at all. The teams were really prepared. I like the energy I think they came out with, and you could see that they have a plan, and that's the beautiful thing, because it was all about executing. We know what we need to do is get the wins in the bag, qualify for the championship, then we go and regroup, and prepare ourselves. Even the First Bank team, as much as they were able to, run through their opponents in Etoile Filante, and STCC of Niger Republic, and they still, had some couple of games that were like tests, for them. And the coach was saying after, they eventually stood together, look, we are not done yet. If we are going to go to Mozambique and make some impact and try to get that trophy
against that region that seems to be the powerhouse of basketball
exactly.
on the continent.
Mozambican teams,
Angola,
and the Angolan teams who have been the main force, of women's basketball, club basketball in Africa. So he's saying if we want to break that, we also need to fortify our scores. That there are some departments here it needs to tweak, improve, recruit new players, and of course they have a tradition of bringing some. I don't use foreign players, but they are Nigerians, who start on the national team. A few of them come back from time to time, right from the days of Udoka. To come, add some little bit of spark and bite and experience, to the squad at the end of the day. So I hope to see that too from Coach Peter Ahmedu, who has been doing a fantastic job since he came on. This time last year is already a year, and he's won the championship already. Also retained this title as the Zone 3 champions for the second time running. So his career has really started off very well, for the Elephant Girls.
Let's step down a little. I'm very sure you have some results for us from the National Division 2. Some teams doing well, some not doing as expected.
Yes, particularly exciting for me is the Ogun Pacers. Away from allegiance, it's one team that I didn't see that would come and show a lot of spark. They've done so well for themselves. They've almost taken all the games they've played in. The Raptors Academy too, one of the academies there in Lagos, who has also been up and about with the way they've play their opponents, and they have a senior team that will be playing in the National Division 1. So this is even the junior of that side, and the coach is really upbeat about the fact that his team will be pushing to get to the next level. So I'm excited about those teams. We have a Impression Academy, we have Gilali also in there, and the Joel Bulls. Also in there, and it shows that there are a lot of teams, there are a lot of people who are ready to play basketball if they are given the opportunity and the enabling environment. And this is the Division 2. Just how many years in, we have teams. That's 14 teams in total, 7 in the Atlantic and Savannah Conference. And just like it is, 2 of those teams, that is one from the Atlantic, one from Savannah, will get promoted to the National Division 1 and a chance to fight for the Premier League in 2 years' time.
Let's talk about what starts this Saturday, street ball in Lagos, the 3-on-3 tour.
Yes, it's the new thing in vogue. It's the latest thing in town, the 3-on-3 format of basketball. FIBA is pushing it. Yes, and it's spreading because it's just an adaptive form, just like football has the futsal, has the sand variation, or the beach soccer, as you want to call it, which we will be hosting. So FIBA too is pushing another type, of basketball, which is a 3-on-3 and spreading.
How fast are we catching on with this?
Well, we are with tournaments like this. The Lagos 3-on-3 tour, I think is timely, and it's a tour, so it's not just going to be a one-off thing. They'll be playing across 4 different centers. They'll play in Road Park, they'll play in Ilupeju, which is where they'll start on Saturday. Then they'll play at the last park. I think they will do Bisikano Park, as well, all between, and it's going to last from this Saturday down to December the 7th. So it's not just going to be a one-off thing. It's all about players coming out, form a team of 4. 3 people will be on the court at once, and you play, and there's a cash prize to win. I think about 200,000 or 300,000 naira, if I'm not mistaken, and then you gain ranking points. Now, these ranking points help you, in getting recognized by FIBA, and invitational tournaments are open for you, just like tennis, where players gather points and then they get eligible for Grand Slams and the big money, events.
Is it going to be mixed?
No, there's a male and there's a female. Differentiated, and you are also fighting for the same prize. So it's good initiative from the private individual partnering with Lagos State Basketball Association and the Lagos State Sports Commission, who have put an in hand to ensure that basketball grows.
We're pressed for time. Before I allow you go, let's talk about back to school, the basketball clinic. Also, that's another good initiative.
Yeah, it's fantastic, and this is different in the style that they're going to primary schools. It's not about just we hear of camps every day where they pick kids from secondary school and high school, but this is going straight down, to primary school. And Impression Basketball Academy is what that brought this out, and in partnership too with also the Lagos Sports Commission, and it's fantastic when you see young minds like this being exposed to this. And the beautiful thing is 63 schools were involved, all public schools.
That's good.
So virtually all of these kids have never probably touched a basketball before, or even seen it. Now this is brilliant exposure for them at this level, and
stimulating interest.
Exactly. And what the organizers have put together is not just this clinic will happen. They will try to now get to all the schools individually, make a team out of them, and then they compete against each other across, you know, I think there are like 7 zones in Surulere
in order to discover
government.
more talents.
Exactly, where they play, and opportunities actually for competitions at this level, which most people are not aware of. There's what you call the mini basket, you know, which is recognized by FIBA, and there are invitational tournaments here, and there are national tournaments, you know, for, you know, kids under the age of 10 and 12, 11, and which there can be opportunity to participate in the nearest future.
Now, Femi, I want to thank you for your time on the show. It's always nice having you around. We'll do this again next week, hopefully.